A very good morning to you guys. How are you holding up wherever you are or wherever you'll be watching this from? I hope you're doing great. Well, this is a different perspective, and I am your host, Leanne Jahin. Gets me every time we do that. So let's just talk, right? Let's have an easy conversation today. Well, there's the whole there's something that has been making rounds on social media. People are kind of excited about it, that it's now accessible and you can just go to the chemist and buy. I don't know how true that information is. I didn't bother to check because that's not the subject of the conversation. The DNA kits. I could tell people are excited about the fact that they can go to the chemist and just buy a DNA kit. Sorry, somebody was calling me. I don't have exact words to describe how I feel about it, because this is the other thing. Most households are held together because of the omission of certain things, or let's just say lies, right? So let's say you go buy the DNA test kit, you come and test, and you have 4 kids and a beautiful life that you built together, and you're already considering about throwing it all away. Some men, and this is where I applaud women. There are women that have covered their man's shame. Yeah? So let's say your guy is not potent. He doesn't have capacity to replicate himself. It's just he can't sire kids. And you've had what? 3 beautiful kids, and he's happy in his home. The family, there's nothing to complain about. And then for most of it, the important things in his life are working. Yeah? So let's say you take a DNA kit to that home, and then you take it and you realize all 3 children now them is yours. You're gonna be angry. But before you take this kit, this is what I would suggest, that whenever a person chooses to go and run the DNA in his house, let it be so that whichever the outcome, that they'll be okay with it. Yes, it's one thing we say we're gonna get results and no, but then it may result to homes falling apart. Let's say you've had kids for 30 years, and then you come to realize they're not yours. How do you start rebuilding your life at plus 30 years of marriage? This is what you know. This is what your lifeline is part of. This is what your time is about. You know, when they're writing down your history, there's no removing this other part that you owe this whenever you're children. So the society also finds out, because we can't walk around and say we're going to take our DNA kits and whichever the results come out, we're just going to be okay and put it out there. Yes, ikianza kuna watu watasherekea ndio ati because they probably want to run away from parental duties and all that. For whichever reasons, yeah? There are people who will just be happy. But then there are people who are going to be very devastated. Coming to know that everything you built was based on, a lie. And sometimes lies are quite convenient. Yeah? They save homes. I don't know. I'm not saying go out there and lie to everyone and anything. I'm just saying, like, hey, it's okay to omit some things. What are the depressed hapa hivi nje? Some people may just resort to suicide, because look at it this way. You find out your kids are not yours. You have to go back to your parents, and you have to somehow let the society will know that the kids are not yours. Then you start questioning a bunch of things. Yeah? So when you come to learn that you're actually impotent, what happens? You have now to deal with shame. Allow me a cold mambo juice on a Monday morning. No. Today's Thursday. Ni vile niko proper, uone vile nimejivaa na kama mtu ameingia Monday.
Sure.
Yes, and I feel like official clothes are for Mondays. So it's going to be excitement. What wanna go excited up with it? Oh, we're gonna finally have to. We can test the DNA kits from my house and don't have to pay a lot of money for it. Whatever the outcome, please contain yourselves. Kitaumana. Alafu mkishajua watoto si wenyu, alafu and let's say those kids are grown ups, then do you start trying to replicate yourself? Do you resent the kids? Do you start becoming bitter at that age? What happens? Yeah? And this is why this different perspective is here. Definitely there's how everybody says things. Well, it's gonna remove so many people out of trouble, but then this is where we get deeper with these conversations. They may look rosy and shiny, but the implications of taking a test, let it be one that you're okay with. That if you've built a home, or if you've built a family together, or you've grown to love a child and be part and parcel of their life, and you like them, then whatever, whether they or they're not yours, that won't change. But how many people can guarantee that? We're humans at the end of the day. It's not like all of us hold ourselves in higher accord. No. Well, you do what you want to do. If you want to test the test kit, go ahead, test it if it's there. Because in my head I was still thinking, doing a DNA test was very expensive. How does it drop from that figure to what? The purported 800 shillings. I don't know if it's true. I've not checked out. You spent your time, you spent your money, you spent your energy, you shared yourself. I know there are moments of doubt, especially hata watu wengi saa zingine tuko na judgment. Hey, mom ni mama yangu kweli, yeah? Because of how sometimes situations play out in life. But then this time, when you do this and then you find yourself in a space where you have to question everything, you're going to ask yourself a lot of questions. Yeah, and you'll be caught in a space where you have to play out every situation. See at what moment you were so blind that you didn't say shit. Na kuna tu watu ushuku, but they end up loving the kids anyway. So many homes out here that have been held together by lies. Whether or not it's a good thing, whatever works sometimes, yo. I mean, tell the truth most of the times. Well, Jordan B says don't lie, but you can omit certain things. Yeah? It's gonna be a mess, but maybe that's what some people need, because maybe some people are just looking for closure. They're doing it or they're taking care of their homes because it's a responsibility that it's expected of them by either the parents or the community, his social circle, however your social structure looks like. Sometimes the things we have to put up with, it's because we have conformed to them, and that's okay because some of them are really good. Yeah. Should this happen, yeah, I think there's going to be a huge need of counseling and just therapy. And I know it's not a conversation that has been common, but it helps to talk to someone, especially when you can't tell right from left, or you're in a state of confusion. You can't think for your own self. Sometimes it's important to talk to someone that can help you try and trace the sound of your own voice. It may be hard love. It may be having to like take a bitter truth. So I'll swallow a bitter pill. Either way, it's necessary. But the choice again is yours. If you want to test the waters, if you want to know, you go ahead. Go check it, go know. But then the question you should ask yourself is, what if it turns out, what if it comes as what I didn't expect? Like when you go for HIV testing, right? Unatestiwa, unaekewa damu, nini, unaulizwa uko prepared. Most of us tunasema tunakuwa tu prepared, lakini ile siku watasema you're not negative. A part of you just shatters completely. Hata ujuangi, for a moment unakuwa na confusion. It's like unplanned pregnancies, but like unplanned pregnancies ni kama like still bottom of that. You realize your life has to change for a period of time. This is why it's different from pregnancy. Pregnancy, you know your life is gonna take a hold for a period of time, but you can somehow put it together because it's been done before. But then situation like HIV, it's permanent, yani equal forever. When you take a DNA test kit and you realize your kids are not yours, that sticks with you. And not so many of us have capacity to handle the truth. Let's be honest. Not everybody knows how to take in the truth. And that's why lies are always easier to take in. When you're told a certain truth, it alters your whole reality. How many of us are prepared for that? Kids have to say now, oh, this is not my dad, although he's the dad I've known all my life. So where's my real dad? And I have to, it's going to affect most men because as we're the ones who know and we bring kids, it's not like one day tutasema, oh, mwanaume alimzalia mtoto mwenye si wangu. Ni mwanamke atakuzalia mtoto mwenye si wako. Utajiuliza maswali mengi. The whole household is just going to be chaos. Mwanamke, unajua, you jua. Women know. So whenever they do that, it's a very conscious decision. Yeah? Women can, kama mwanamke anataka kukuzalia, atakuzalia. Na kama hataki, she won't give birth for you. She won't. And I know there's an exception. But living in the world we live in right now, and all the options that are on the table, I am sure if a woman wants to give you a kid, she will. If she doesn't, she won't. So at some point, women have a very conscious, very, very, very vivid decision they're making whenever they're choosing to have a kid by another man when they're in a matrimonial home. So for them, maybe it will be shattered like, oh, well, I thought I put this together. I didn't think it would break. For them, it's the shock of the realization of the lie. That's all that is going to hit a woman. Just the shock. But I'm sure at some point in their life, they have played out a situation like that. Because we think and overthink and outplay situations and see if we'll ever survive if it turns out like that. I think women naturally know how to survive in an environment. But it's the male species that I'm concerned about. Yeah? I know it may be tempting, it might be, you don't want to know, feel your curiosity because you've had moments. I know there's going to be a certain push or whatever justification you tell yourself to go and do that. Just make sure that before you actually do it, that you're okay with the outcome. And just sit down with yourself and ask yourself, what does this mean in my life? Is it worth it? Is it worth the life I know, the life I have grown to love, the life I have been part of building? Is it worth it? Is it worth throwing that away? There's a relief in knowing the truth. Just be sure you want to know the truth. And it's not because it's a craze or it's a frenzy or it's you don't want to feel like you're missing out on knowing your status in the house. Let it be so that you are okay taking in the truth, which is difficult. Ask yourself questions. Yeah? Ask yourself questions. Don't just blindly take the test. If you're not ready to throw away the life that you know. But if you are, go ahead. Sure. Go right ahead, test, get to know how your home looks like. If you're ready to throw, if the life you're already living is not worthwhile, then go and find out. But if it's not worth the trade, then do it. Anyway, that's it for today from different perspective. It'd be nice to know what you think about this. Yeah? Let me know. Maybe I'm overthinking, or maybe that's just how we need to also just think. Adios.